And feel the shoulders, like maybe just for the first inhale, just bring the shoulders up towards your ears. And then on the exhale, just gently let them fall back down towards the floor. Letting that Ujjayi breath start to come in, so you find that slight constriction in the back of your throat. It's like you're whispering to yourself. And allow those exhales to be longer than your inhales. That will help with some focus. And let those exhales also be a point of surrender right now. So you just allow your body to just soften into it. And then when you inhale, you kind of rise up and ignite and feel the belly button come towards the spine and lengthen in the spine. Find space between each vertebrae. Elongate the side body. Maybe hold it a little bit before you exhale. It's like you're sipping air through a straw. We'll do about 5 more slow breaths, just to slowly let the nervous system decompress. Notice what your hands are doing, and see if you've got them. It's like if most of you right now have your hands down, so that's for more grounding. And that's a perfect place to be, just finding some rootedness, some security. And then if you want to find some ambition and be a little bit more open, maybe bring your palms up. Just welcoming in this practice, the 60 minutes of movement. Take one more deep breath in. Hold it at the top. See if you can sip in just a little bit more air. And then gently exhale, let it out. And then we're going to bring our right hand, and I'll try to mirror you guys. So we'll bring our right hand out, press all 5 fingertips into the floor, then reach the left fingertips up and over. And see if you can, as your fingers come up and over, you feel that elongation in the side body. Gaze back to the back, just to over your right shoulder. Breath in, and then on your exhale, cactus your left arm and just open it out. And then go ahead, sweep it back up on your inhale, reach it over to your right, gazing over to the right, and then exhale, cactus, and sweep it back. One more. Breath in, lift and reach, and exhale, cactus and twist. Slowly bringing your right hand to the left hand to the floor, reach the right fingertips up and over. Gazing over your right or your left shoulder, and then exhale, bend in that right arm and gaze to the back. Sweep it up and over on your inhale. Nice gentle twist, and then exhale, cactus the arm and gaze over your shoulder. 2 more times, lift up and over. Really feel those 5 fingertips into the mat, and then bend and twist. 1 more. Exhale, cactus the arm. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Seal the palms and then wrap your fingers around each other and press the palms up towards the ceiling. Find a slight back bend here. So as you bring your shoulders and your heart forward, start to create a little bit of anterior tilt in the spine. Lift the chest and then lift the chin. And then on your exhale, go ahead, bring the fingertips down towards the floor, lengthen in the spine, chin to chest. Engage the core as you lift up, inhale, fingertips to the sky, anterior tilt the back of the back body, and then lift the heart up. Lift the chin up, find length here. See if you can find as much as you can as somebody's just gently tugging on your palms. And then exhale, bend forward, chin to chest. So surrender here. Gently release your hands from where they are and then bring the fingertips forward and journey your hands just a little bit forward. Maybe you can bring your elbows to the floor, but don't hurt yourself. Just know if you can kind of soften and allow the heart melt towards the floor, walking your fingers forward. And then find an intention, some positive thought, a mantra. Maybe it's just, I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to slow the breath down. I'm not going to let it get jagged. Just whatever you can to bring some positive thoughts and just a way of bringing the attention and intention inside the body. Take one more breath in as you lengthen in the arms. Lift the elbows if they're on the floor. Lift the forehead up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, you're going to walk your hands over to the left, allowing the chin to come towards the chest, forehead towards the floor. See if you can feel a little bit of an awakening in that right back hamstring. Then inhale back to center, lengthen in the arms, and then let's exhale over to the right. Slowly journey back down, melt towards the floor. And then just press into that right sits bone a little bit more so you find that stretch in that left side. Sorry, my left and right is what I'm trying to mirror. So you're really going to press and just stretch into that left side body. Gently come back to center and then walk your hands back towards your feet, towards your shins. And then let's come into tabletop position. And then just park your shoulders over your wrists. Allow the fingertips to face the front of the mat. Hips above the knees. Feel the tops of the feet on the floor. And just find yourself here for a moment. See if you can bring that belly towards the spine. And imagine yourself with a coffee cup or a cup of water on your spine, on the back. And then now you're going to slowly begin to drop your belly towards the floor, coming into your cow pose. And then lift your heart through the gateway of the shoulders and lift the chin up. Breath in. And then exhale, curve in the spine, coming into the cat pose, chin to chest. And just moving just the back right now, and then drop back down, lifting the heart, lifting the chin, belly to spine. And then exhale, curve the back, engage here. See if you can really strengthen and lengthen through each of the limbs. Now we can start moving a little bit more fluidly. As you drop the belly, you start to bend in the elbows and let the heart come forward and the shoulders just a little bit over the wrists. And then when you exhale, you're coming into that cat pose. You're going to bring the hips towards your heels, but they're not going to drop all the way. You're just going to lengthen in the arms. Maybe you even tense your fingertips if you like. So just find what feels good here. You can explore different places. You don't have to do it exactly as I cue if you feel like there's something else you need to do. Then go ahead, inhale, drop the fingertips back down, coming into your cow, shifting the shoulders slightly over the wrists. Exhaling into your cat. Maybe the hips come a little bit further towards your heels. And continue with that movement for about 4 more breaths. Move at your own pace. One more time. Breath in, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale. This time, come all the way into your child's pose. Drop the hips towards the heels, and then let your hands either come all the way to the front, or you can bring them back beside you where the palms face up. And just surrender your body down. Maybe shift it left and right. Notice if you're holding any tension anywhere, like in your mouth and your jaw, between your brow. Maybe notice if your shoulders are still sort of tight up towards your earlobes, and see if you can melt them down too. Two more breaths. And breathe into the kidneys and widen in the back. One more deep breath in. On your exhale, come back into tabletop position. Slowly coil forward. Lifting the hips, tabletop. Then you're going to reach your right leg back. Toes point to 6 o'clock. See if you can lengthen. And coming into that with like bird dog pose. You're going to press into that right fingertips. Press them into the mat. Reach your left hand out. Lengthen as though somebody's pulling you in opposite directions, but gently, just feeling that tug. On your exhale, you're going to bring your bring your elbow and knee to touch, and you're going to curve in the back. See if you can actually bring the thigh up towards the belly. And then reach back out on your inhale. Exhale, curve and tuck. And back out. 2 more times. Reach it out. And back in. One more time, reach it out. Hold it here. And then let's see if you can bend in that right knee. So the sole of the foot is reaching towards the ceiling. You can stay with the left arm straight out, or if your shoulder is okay, you can rotate it back, seeing if you connect the hand to foot, holding it here or pressing up, lifting the fingertips and the toes up towards the ceiling. One more breath in. On your exhale, release the left hand to the mat. Keep the right knee bent and lifted, and then pulse the right toes to the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the right leg straight out. Then reach it and bring it out to the side. Allow the sole of the right foot connect it to the floor. Press your hips back down to the left heel. And then walk your hands over to the right. Back to center on your inhale. And then press them over to the left. Breathing into that right side body. Come back to center on your inhale. Stay on your exhale. Then inhale, coil back up. And you can stay here with the right foot pressing into the floor, or you can lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. One more time as we lift, exhale, lower. Then you're going to circle the right toes all the way around, coming into that half crescent. Just bring it all the way and then gaze over your left shoulder. And then curve it all the way back around. And one more time, big imaginary circle. Come back through. And then you're going to hold it here, and you're going to press your hips back, and you're going to come into that T pose where your left foot is going to come inside of the right shin. Lift the arms up. Exhale, fold over your right leg, gazing towards your right foot. Then slowly lift back up, fingertips to the sky. On your exhale, the left hand comes down. You're going to sweep up, coming into gate pose. And then slowly bring both hands back to the front. And then bring that right toe and just slide it back around to the back. Press those 5 right toes into the floor so where the heel is going to press away. So you feel that a little bit of an awakening in your calf muscle. Then slowly come back into your tabletop position. And then just slowly circular your hips, just rotating them in a nice circular motion. Pause and then rotate them in the opposite direction. Coming back to center. And then we'll do the other side. So we're going to extend the left leg straight out. Toes point down. Right arm reaches out. Lengthen. Just stay here for a moment and clarify and just find your balance. Find the sweet spot here. You guys look great. The mirror is always nice to be able to kind of help cue. You have great form. So as you breathe in, you lengthen. On your exhale, you're going to tuck and connect the elbow and knee for 4 times. Inhale out. Gaze forward if you like. Exhale, draw it in. 2 more times. Breath in. Exhale, draw it in. 1 more time as we stay out. Hold here. Bending in the left leg so the heel point presses to the ceiling. If you want, you can rotate the right arm, connecting hand to foot. Stay here, or just press up like you're igniting, like you're a bow. Two more breaths. Then rotate, releasing the hand from foot. Bring the right palm to the mat. Keep the left foot up and pulse. Really gonna squeeze the glutes here. I did this the other day with a weight between my leg or my knee, and I felt it the next day. It was a good feeling afterwards, but it was painful doing that for a moment. And then go ahead and then lengthen in the left leg. Press the toes out to the left side. Press the heel and the sole of the foot to the floor. And then on your exhale, go ahead and shift your hips back. Breathing into the length of that left leg. Walk your hands over to the left. On your next inhale, back to center. And let that exhale journey your hands over to the right, breathing into that left side body. Next inhale, back to center. Stay on your exhale. Then let that inhale coil your back all the way forward. Lift the hips, coming into that modified tabletop position, pressing the fingertips into the floor. The left toes are now going to circle around, coming into that half crescent like you're just tracing a circle over to your right, gazing over your right shoulder. Then do that 3 more times. Back around. See if you can bring the left toes almost to the front of the mat. You know, just depends on your journey. Back around. One more time. Gazing over your right shoulder to look at your foot, then come back around. This time, stay here, press your hips back, and allow that right foot to come inside of the left thigh. Reach your arms up. Exhale, bow over your right leg. Journey your fingertips forward. It's a great time to massage your foot. Then inhale, reach your arms back up. Lengthen, and then exhale, press that right fingertips into the floor, and then sweep it around, bringing your hips up. Just love this pose, it's so pretty. Hips up, fingertips press, and as though they're reaching for the floor. And then on your exhale, you're slowly gonna walk your hands back all the way to the front, and then let the left toes come back to the neutral, to the back, lengthening in the left leg. Toes press into the mat, and then you're just going to allow the heel to press towards that back wall. And then slowly come down into the tabletop position. Tuck your toes. See if you can find all 10 toes onto the floor. Then hover the knees. Engage the core as you just press the hips back. Hover the knees. Really power into those arms. See if you can lengthen in the arms. Lengthen in the back. Try not to look too far down like you're looking for your toes. Just look straight ahead. Or not straight ahead, I should say, but down by maybe like the center of the mat. On the next exhale, come into your first downward facing dog. Keep those heels lifted. Allow the belly to come towards the thighs. And then exhale, melt the heels down towards the floor. Maybe walk the feet back, maybe just half, 6, maybe 3 inches, just to create a little bit more of an elongated downward facing dog. Let the eyes of the elbows face one another. See if you can create a little openness between the palms and the mat. And then pedal it out. I mean, I don't know what you guys like to do here. Some people like to stand still. It can be a resting pose. It can also be quite a power pose too, depending on how you feel. Three more breaths. Take an inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look between your hands, and gently tiptoe your feet to the front of the mat, keeping a nice bend in those backs of those knees. Halfway lift on your inhale. Hands can stay on the floor, fingertips can stay on the floor, or they can come to your shins or thighs, and then gently fold on your exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Tent the fingertips if you like. This time on your exhale, if you would just bring your hands back behind, maybe just hugging your calves. You can always keep your hands on the floor too. Then inhale, release, hands back to the mat, gaze forward, heart forward. Exhale, fold, hug the backs of your knees. Keep a nice bend in those knees, then inhale, sweep the arms up, gathering it all up. Seal the palms at the top. And then bow forward. Sometimes I like to just press my palms, my thumbs into the center of my forehead, to my heart, and then back down. Just finding connection. Halfway lift on your inhale. And then on your exhale, bring the right leg back. Try to keep that left knee right over that left ankle. And then bring the back knee to the mat. Untuck your toes, then reach your arms up. Exhale, cactus, and as you cactus, just stay with your front leg engaged. So your left knee will just be right over, but we'll start to add on here. So as you come into your cactus, bring the elbows slightly forward to where you can almost feel the shoulder blades connect. Fing those fingertips bright and spread out. Then inhale, reach up, and then on your exhale, again, this time you're going to press your pelvis forward, so your knee is actually going to come over your ankle, but your back knee is on the mat, so that's okay. And then on your inhale, you're going to slowly, if you like, it's a balance, see if you can straighten that front leg. And then exhale, cactus and bend. Inhale, engage and straighten, fingertips to the sky. One more time, bend, and then lengthen and straighten. Exhale, hands come to the mat, just right where just wrists over shoulders, just coming into that half splits. So here you can point and flex if you like, or just stay still. See if you can find the length in the spine, because that's the captain of the ship. So we always want to try to find to avoid any kind of curving. We want to try to create space and elongate. Then slowly begin to bend in that left knee. Tuck the right toes, lift the knee up. Keep yourself in this pose, engage the core, and then lift up into your high lunge. So really try to lift that heel up, lengthening in the right leg so you find full power here. See if you can bend a little bit more in that left knee to where all you see is your big left toe. On your exhale, plant your hands, frame your left foot, And then hover the left foot, just bring it in, keeping the thigh connected to the belly. Engage the core, shoulders slightly over wrists, breath in, and then exhale, three-legged dog. Lift that left leg up. Melt the right heel towards the mat. Bending in the left knee, stack the hip. So you're going to open it up. The heel is going to start to come towards your bottom and the knee towards the ceiling. Then if you want here, you can just start to rotate that left knee or hip and just a circular motion. So just breathing into that hip joint. 3 rotations. Pausing after the third, and then rotate it in the opposite direction. Then extending that left leg straight back up after you've done the third rotation. So basically you've done it 6 times. Then lower the left heel to the mat, left foot to the mat. Pedal it out. And then again, inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look between your hands, tippy toe to the front. And then halfway lift. Exhale, hug the backs of your legs if you like, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen, exhale, bend and fold. One more time, halfway lift. Hug yourself, bending in those knees. Now you can really give yourself a nice bend. And then inhale, reach back up. Exhale, bow, thumbs to forehead to heart, back down to the floor. Halfway lift. And then on your exhale, left foot comes to the back of the mat. Go ahead and clarify the pose here. So as you exhale, you're going to see that right knee over the ankle. Find those 5 toes to the floor, then bring that left knee to the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, reach up. Like you're holding the ball. And then as you exhale, you're going to cactus the arms, staying in this pose as you bring the elbows forward, fingertips towards the back. And then your shoulder blades start to come together. Inhale, reach up. Now we'll start to move a little bit deeper. Exhale, bending in that left knee, just a little, your right knee. And then press the pelvis forward. See if you can crack open your heart a little bit more. Then on your inhale, you're going to straighten and lengthen. Find your balance. It's okay if you topple a little bit. Exhale, sink and bend. Reach up and lengthen. Exhale, sink and bend. One more, I think 2 more times actually, 4 times total. Sometimes I lose count. Inhale, lift up. This time keep that front leg straight. Then place your hands down where the shoulders are just right over the wrists. And then point and flex your right toes. Find length. I always find one side is harder than the other, so, just maybe give yourself a little bit more extra care if there's a side that's tighter. And then gently go ahead, place the right sole of the foot down as you do, bending in the right knee. Bring your hands to frame your right foot. Tuck the left toes and then lift the knee. And then stay here for a moment as you engage and you lift up all the way into your high lunge. Again, powering up that left leg. Feel the heel lift. Sink a little lower in that right knee. It's where all you can see is the front big toe. Lengthen in the spine. Lengthen in the side body. And then gently exhale. Bring those hands back down. Hover the right foot. And then bring that left thigh into the chest. And then go ahead, come into your 3-legged dog like it's moving through water all the way up. Then bend and stack, open. Try to keep equal weight if you can in both hands. And then let's rotate that right hip 3 rotations forward. And then pause after that 3rd rotation, rotating in the opposite direction. And then extending that right leg straight back up to the sky. Exhale, lower it back down to the floor. Pedal it out, 3 breaths. On that 4th inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. If you want to jump to the front of your mat, feel free, or gently walk to the front. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, hug and fold if you like. Inhale, this time reach all the way up. Interlace your hands, bring the palms up towards the sky. Sorry, my mask keeps wanting to come down. And then let's shift over to the right, lengthen on the left side, back to center, and then over to the left, lengthening. Keep it back to center. Slowly bring your hands to a T, lift the left leg up, extend the left leg straight out. You can always bring your hands to your hips too, if you like. Then tap the left heel to the mat, lift up, and tap, and lift, and tap. This time, lift it, hug the left knee into your chest, then open it out to the left. You can bring your right arm out if you like. You can keep it wherever you find that it feels good. If you're finding that balance is a little hard, you can always squeeze your earlobe. Then rotate that left hip again, just 3 rotations. And then bring it back to center, and then hug it around the right. And you can always keep the left toes to the mat, or you can come back all the way around, so coming into the eagle pose. And then you're going to bring your right arm underneath your left. You can either hug your arms, or you can bring them with the palms together. Sink a little bit lower in your hips, and then let the elbows come up to where they're in line with the shoulders. Again, you can stay here, or you can start to bring the elbows and knees to touch, and then reach back up. Exhale, elbow and knee to touch. One more time, lift up, elbow and knee to touch. Slowly unwind, bring your hands to a T, and then unwind your left leg and come into a curtsy. So just tap the left foot behind. Inhale, reach it back up, standing marching pose. Extend it back out and tap and lift. Tap and lift. One more time as we tap. This time we lift, arms reach up. On our exhale, hands come to your heart. You're going to press back into your warrior 3. Take a breath in. On your exhale, gently tap those left toes to the floor, coming into your high lunge. Back heel to the mat. Warrior 1. Sink a little lower. Okay, so now we're going to do this little repetitive move that I find very fond. I'm quite fond of it. You're going to bring your arms forward. And on your inhale, you're going to feel like this ball, and it's just going to expand. And as it expands, you're going to open up and you're going to straighten that front leg. Just find the full expression of the pose. On your exhale, hands come down and taps the floor. So you're coming into that pyramid pose. Then inhale, bending in that front leg, warrior 1. So that's how it is. So you're inhaling in your warrior 1. You're exhaling, you're coming in with your fingers forward. Then you're inhale, exhale, and then inhale, expand. and then back down. Fold forward, keep that leg, the front leg straight. So we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale to the front. Inhale, expand and lengthen. And then slowly bow forward into that front leg. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale to the front. Inhale, expand. And then back down. Slowly bending in that right knee, lift that back heel, and then let's sweep the right leg up into 3-legged dog. Both lower both feet to the mat. And then tippy toe or jump to the front of your mat on the bottom of your exhale, however you like to get there. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reach all the way up. Interlace your hands. Palms to the ceiling. This time, as we did the last time when we did the left to right, you're just going to kind of do these circular motions, just massaging the lower back. Move as slow or as fast as you like, just don't be too dizzy. Pausing after a little bit, rotating in the opposite direction. And then slowly coming back to center, hands come down. You're going to reach the right knee up, hugging it in your chest. Extend the arms out, lengthen in the right leg, and then tap and lift. Tap and lift. One more time, lower and lift. Hug the right knee into your chest. Keep the ankle flexed. Then open it out to the side. Left arm extends out. And then rotating it 3 rotations forward. Pause after that third. Rotate it in the opposite direction. And then after you've done that, go ahead and fold it around around the left leg. Again, right toes can come to the outer edge. However it feels good on your body. So wrap it around, coming into your eagle pose. Arms are out to a T. And then fold the left arm underneath the right, hugging or bringing palms together. As you do, sink into your seat and then lift the elbows up towards your shoulders to where they're in line. You can stay here, or you can start to bow inward, challenging your balance, and then lift out and express, open it up and bow. And open and lower. I'm losing my balance. One more time as we lift. Exhale, lower. Unwind the arms, bringing them out to a T as though you're flying. And then unwind the right leg and curtsy it behind the left. And tap. Lift the right leg up. Extend it out. And tap it down. And lift. And down. And lift. One more time, tap it to the floor, lift it all the way back up, and then start to pendulum that right leg to the back as your hands come into your heart, moving through molasses all the way into your warrior 3. I know it's a bit challenging to be on one leg more than you're used to. Pressing the heel like it's pressing into that back wall. Take a breath in. And then slowly tap those right toes to the mat, coming into your high lunge. Reach those arms up. Sink it down. Back heel to the floor, warrior 1. And we'll do that same sequence, other side. But before we do, just notice if you can try to sink a little lower, bringing where all you can see is your left big toe. So breath in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands to the front. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Open it up, full expression. Exhale, hands to the floor. Nose comes towards the knee. So use your breath to guide you. Inhale, coming into your warrior 1. And then bring the arms to the center. Expand outward, lengthening. And bow inward. 2 more times. I'll try to stay quiet. You guys just use your breath. One more time, warrior one. Hands forward. Expand it out. Lower down. Hold it here. Stay and lengthen. Start to lift the right heel up, bending in the left knee. Plant your hands. Hug the left knee up and hover the left foot. And then reach it back up all the way to three-legged dog. Both feet to the mat. And then if you want to get a drink of water or just come into child's pose for 3 to 5 breaths, depending on how long they are, feel free. Wherever you are, come back into your downward facing dog, gently getting there, tucking the toes, hovering the knees, exhaling all the way, lifting those hips up. And then tiptoe your hands towards your feet. Then keep your feet, now these are options. You guys, I think, are quite well into your yoga practice. So you might decide not to go hip width apart, but bring the big toes together, just a slight gap between the backs of the heels. Start to bend in the knees, coming into your chair pose. But before you do, to see if you can brush your fingertips right beside you. And then lift your arms up. Soften in the shoulders. Notice if you're holding tension. See if you can lift those 10 toes up off the mat, to where you're just feeling the edges of your feet and the heels connecting to the mat. It's amazing how much our bodies depend on our legs and our feet and our soles. This time, connect all 10 toes to the mat. Really feel them into the floor, then lift those heels up. Sink a little lower, and then lift up. See if you can stay with those tippy toes. Fingers reach up high, lengthen in the legs. Stay with those heels lifted, and then lower back down into your chair pose. Brushing the fingers back down, bringing them back behind, and then sweeping them back up again. Lengthen, heels lift. Exhale, brush back down, sink into your chair. And then one more time, brush it up. Ignite it up. Very good. And then come back into your chair, lower those heels to the floor, hands to your heart. Then let's hook the left shoulder, left elbow over the right knee. As you do so, I know you've been cued before, try to keep that right knee in line with your left. And as you do that, start to press your palms towards your navel. And as you press your palms towards your navel, you stack those shoulders. Find your breath and lengthen in the back. You can stay here, or you can hover the left leg up like it's a flamingo. So you're tapping the heel towards your bottom and tap and lift. And tap and lift. And then go ahead and lower that left foot back to the floor. And if you like to come into side crow, now's the time, but you don't have to. Just if you want, it's just an option. I won't. If you guys aren't, I'm not going to either. But we'll go ahead and come back to center. lift up, woo, reach the arms up. And then we'll shake it out. But before we go on the other side, we'll just kind of do a few little bends and just allow the hips to move. Swing the hands left to right. You know, I always like my 90-minute classes because there's not enough you can get everything done in an hour, but we'll get there. So we're going to come down into our backs very soon. This time, come back to a neutral standing pose. Reach those arms up. Exhale, sink into your chair, palms press down. Really feel the intention here. This time, see if you can bring those 10 toes and lift them up. Now hook that right elbow over your left knee. Look at your knees. Sink the seat, press that right hip back slightly. As you do, press the palms towards your navel. So as you do, you can start to feel like a gentle, like it's just an automatic twist. Rinsing out the lower spine, and then stacking the shoulders. Staying here, or if you like to just kind of move a little bit, hovering the right foot, just really connecting that left foot to the floor, then tap the heel toward the bottom, tap it to the floor, back up and down and up and down and up and down. Side crow if you like, otherwise don't. Coming back to center, reaching the arms up. We're going to come back into chair one final time. You know the routine where you come into your chair, sinking down on your exhale, holding it, and then sink a little lower, and then a little lower. You know where we're going. Come all the way down to your bottom. But before we come all the way to your resting pose, you're going to come into your true boat pose. This is really difficult with a mask on, you know? I feel like I'm breathing a little harder than I normally would. So you can always bring your hands behind you, underneath your thigh, right under in your hamstrings, or you can bring them out. If you like, you can keep the arms, the legs lifted. My physical health has declined a little bit since all of this crazy, so I'm going to keep my knees bent. You can stay here, you can start to lower and lift. And we can kind of use each other for support, like we're on that rowboat together. So as you lower, you can bring your elbows towards your soul, towards your body, and then extend out like you're giving and you're taking. Give and get. Use that breath. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Go ahead and bring those, come into the center of your mat so your head's not on the floor. Lower all the way down to your back. Extend the right leg straight out. Hug the left knee into your chest. And then again, open the left knee out to the left. Stay 2 breaths. Try to keep the right toes facing the ceiling. Then hug the left knee back into your chest. And then let's go ahead and fold it over the right side. And as you do, you might need to just press that right hip back a little bit. And then just gently let the arms open out to a T, gazing over your left shoulder. Hug the knee back into your chest. And then straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Walk your hands to the back of the calf as you lift your head up so your nose comes towards your knee, knee towards your nose. You can point and flex the foot. And then gently bring your hands back towards the hamstrings. Lower your head down. Hands can come by the sides or out to a T. And then you're just going to switch. Bring the right leg up, left leg comes down. Hug the right knee into the chest. Open it out to the side. Bring the left arm out. Just breathing into that right hip. 2 breaths. Then hug your right knee back in. And then fold it over to the left side. Maybe you even have to kind of push the left hip back slightly just to allow the twist to become a little bit more accessible. Gazing over your right shoulder. Come back to center on your inhale. And then reach the right leg up, keeping the ankle flexed, walking your hands back behind your calves as you lift your head towards your nose, point and flex. Then begin to walk your hands back down to the hamstrings, lowering your head to the floor. Then bring both feet down to the mat. Hug both knees into your chest. You're going to extend both legs straight up. Hands come beside you. And then you're just going to do these little subtle lift with the hips. So you're not going to try to use a lot of momentum like swinging like this, but you're just going to do slight, where you're going to just be using your pelvic floor as you tighten, and then you just do these little lifts for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. And then bring your knees down to your chest. Hands come to the outer edges of your feet, coming into happy baby. So rather than your thighs coming into your chest, you're going to have them come to the outer edges. Really pressing the knees, almost like they could touch the floor. Pressing the toes towards the back wall. Heels face up. And then maybe rock left to right. So your whole back is like a blanket on the mat. Left, just rock left to right. Maybe you straighten one leg and then the other. And then gently bring those knees back in. Bring the toes and the soles of the feet to the floor. Hands come beside. And then lift those hips up to coming into bridge pose. Then gently undulating the spine, just go ahead and allow it to just slowly fold all the way where the back is all the way back on the mat. See if you can tickle the backs of your heels with your fingertips. And feel the full connection of the soles of the feet to the mat as you lift up on your inhale. You can watch your belly rise and fall. And then again, lowering the back vertebrae by vertebrae all the way to the floor. On this next one, if you want to, you can come back into bridge or come into full wheel, whatever is your preference. You can also come into waterfall pose or shoulder stand. The wheel pose could be a bit invigorating, so if you're not looking to go and have a big late night party, you may just decide to go into bridge and not allow that to be the story for your evening. It is quite invigorating though. And then as you slowly come out of whatever pose you are in, slowly lowering your hips to the floor, feel the whole back body on the mat. Go ahead and bring your toes out to the edges, let the knees fall inward, and then maybe you just windshield wiper them left to right. And if there's something in your practice that I did not attend to, feel free to move and do that right now. You've got about 5 more minutes, and I would say the last 3 will go into Savasana, so you've got a little bit of time, or feel free to go ahead and find yourself in corpse pose, taking a little bit more time to indulge your body and stay rested. Find stillness and do what is good for you and your body. And remember that breath that keeps us going, lowers our nervous system if we can really extend it and slow it down. Find pause between each, the inhale and exhale. To find maybe a little bit more connection, you can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Coming back to that centering thought, mantra, prayer, or phrase. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. If you are ready to move on, you can start to bring your arms up over your head just to start to awaken, coming back into our normal everyday life where you can point and flex the toes, belly towards the spine. On the exhale, slowly start to fold over your right side, bending in the knees. Coming into seed pose. Take your time. And then eventually press your left palm into the floor and then lift up, coming into your easy seated pose, Sukasana. Just honoring your practice. Thank you guys for coming and flowing and moving and breathing with me today. I hope that the rest of your evening is as nurturing as yoga can be. Reach your arms up, sweep them all the way up towards the ceiling. Pressing the palms together and then pressing your thumbs towards your sternum, bending in the elbows. Just bow for yourselves, for everyone.